Alright guys, welcome back once again to iXoft, and I am your tutor for the app development class in Notre Word Technology. And on our previous lesson we just did a couple of days ago, we learned how to create a splash screen in our database software management software. So today's lesson, we are going to tackle the login page, which will just prompt the person to add up a username and then the password. So let's, without wasting my time, let's go ahead and then start doing something. So by beginning of it, I would like to remove this icon here. So by doing that, just go down and then you can see that we have show icon, then turn it to false. Now you can see that you don't have any icon here. Now let's change the text of the form to, it is login. So let's call this security checkpoint, right? Let's call it security checkpoint. And then the control box, we have control boxes, and then actually I'll be using false for the control boxes. I don't need any control box here. So yeah, that is it. And then for the form border style, I think the window start position is default. I need to use center. And then for the for the form border style, I will use just fixed single. Yeah, that is it. So let's add up some tools to it. I'm going to add a text box. Sorry, I'm going to add two text boxes. So sorry, I added a binary. Yeah, so this is one text box here, that is it. And then I'm going to add another text box, yeah, and then this is the other one, right? So these are my two text boxes, and then I would like to add them here. And then yeah, I will just add them something like this. Yeah, and then concerning this, I will multi-line them so that I can just readjust them myself. So what I'll do is I'll just add a picture box. It is optional. You can decide not to use a picture box, you can decide to choose a picture box. And then I have downloaded some images for padlocks and other stuff, so I will just choose that image from my data drive. So I will just locate to where my padlock is. That is, you need to get an image which is being associated to what you want to do, or what you are doing, right? That is your security checkpoint aspects. So I'll just go by my resources, and then I will go by the padlock here. So this is it. I have my padlock beside this, and then I'll be adding some couple of labels to it. Yeah, I'll be adding some couple of labels to it. So yeah, all right, I will just add some labels. I'll add some two labels. Yeah, this is for label 1, and then this is for label 2. Let's select all the labels and then give it a font size. So I will just give it a 12 font size, then I will just rearrange them as I want it to be. Now let's tackle the first one. The first one would be the username. Yeah, so the username. And then we have the second one, that would be the password, right? Yeah, so that is it. We have the username and then the password. So basically we have just started creating something. So let's see something. Let's add we have something called link label. So if you are a web developer, you get to know what I'm talking about. So we have some link label here. So for this link label, I'll just rename this to create an account, right? So it will allow the person to create an account, and then this one will be forgot password. So the person will be using these to the person will be using the forgot password to recover his password. Yeah. And then yeah, so the person will be using that one to recover the password, and then the person will be using the create account to create account if the person doesn't have an account to be used. So let's add, let's say, a button, right? We will be adding 2 buttons for now. So that is your button 1 and then your button 2. So these are my buttons. Yeah, so for this button I'll call this log in, right? And then for this button I will call it cancel. Yeah, so basically we have created the user interface. Let's see something so that we can work along with it. Now we have added our splash screen on our previous tutorial we just did, or on our previous lesson we just did, and you can see that it is working perfectly. Yeah, it is working perfectly. Now you can see that this is it. You can see that this is it. Now we have it here. When we type, you can see that the font is not the font is smaller than the text box we just added, and then the password too is smaller than the text we just added, and then you can still see the password. So we will be working along with it, and actually these are not linked to anything, and then the cancel and then the login, they are not, you know, working, and then we will be working with the codes as well, because the codes are very complicated, or they are many. I would like to type it very fast, but I would like to add a source code concerning the project for the codes to to Mr. James, so that he can just give you out the codes in PDF or Word document file. All right, so let's stop it, and then for this text box, let's start to type, let's say, something inside it. Now you can see that how it appears. So let's go to fonts, and then let's choose maybe 12. Now you can see that 12 fits it. Now let's go back to the text, and then let's remove it. Now we can know that now we know that 12 is kind of good, so let's choose 12. Now we have something called password char that allows you to hide your passwords. Now you can see that we have password char. That is it, password char. So just type the symbol you want it to indicate on your digits when you are typing. And my password char I used is just a star symbol. Yeah, so let's see how best this works now. Now you can see that basically we have created something out of something. Now we have our splash screen, which is the loading screen of it, and then you can see that as soon as it finished, it just pops up something, and then you can see that it is kind of good, but the login and then the other stuff does not work. So let's code the cancel. Let's code the cancel and then start to code the rest. Okay, so let's stop it. Now we want to code the cancel, right? Double click on the cancel and then tell the cancel to end the application. So if the person is not being able to get the correct access, then if the person click on the cancel, it should exit the application. So let's try that one out, but before, I would like to so that I won't be going through the process of the login, the splash screen again, I'll just select the login and then it will just start the login straight for me, yeah, without going through the splash screen because we have done that one so far. All right, so you can see that but when we click on cancel, it just end the application. So that is the code for that. Now let's go to the login. But before we tackle the login, we want to tell the system what should do, right? We want to tell the system what should do. So this is how we are going to work on that. By clicking on this, we need to open something. By clicking on that, we need to open something, right? So let's add a new form, and then we will be calling this our main form. Our main, let's call this home page, right? So concerning the home page, this is the home page, and I would like to maximize it when it is showing up. So for that one, it is the Windows states, so just use maximize. So when it starts, it will just maximize on your screen for you. So let's go to the login, and then let's double click on the login for now, and then we are going to tell the login to show let's say home page dot show me dot hide, and then that is it. So basically we haven't added any security access to it. So this is it. When you click login straight, it will just pop it up, right? When you type something here, anything, and then you click login, now you can see that it just popped up for you. So let's see something. Now this time we are not going to go straight to login and then they just log in like that. We are going to set a security password for it, right? We are going to set a security password for it. But before we start to do that, I want you to understand the basic steps to get started before you get to understand it. So let's go inside the login. Instead of all these codes, let's delete it. Now we are going to call a function for the computer to recognize it. So we are going to say that if our text box 1 dot text, which is our text box 1 dot text, which is our username, is equals to, let's say, admin, and our text box 2 dot text equals to admin, only then some message box should pop up telling us that logged in successfully, right? It should tell us we have logged in successfully, and then it should give us an message box style, which is information, and then the heading for it should be logged in, right? Okay, so that is it. If the text box 1 dot text equals to admin, and then the text box 2 dot text equals to admin, that is if the username is admin and then the password is admin, only then it should show us this message. After the message, then it just open up the home page for us, then it hide itself. Please, I hope you are getting these codes very well. All right, so let's debug it and see how best it works. So that is it. I'm going to type just anything there, and then I'll just click on login. You see that nothing happens, but as soon as I type admin here, and then I type admin here as well, you see that it says logged in, and then it is logged in successfully, and then now you can see that I have logged in. All right, so let's see how best to set up some message boxes, pop-up messages, warnings, and then top security aspects. So let's say else if our text box 1 the text equals to nothing if the person didn't type anything inside the text box, and text box 2 the text equals to nothing, only then it should tell us something. So if the person didn't write anything in the text box 1 and then the person didn't type anything in the text box 2, then it should pop up a message box telling the person that no username / password found, right? And then the message box style for this should be it should be critical, right? And then we are going to say that error, we are going to tell the heading to be error. Okay, so let's see that one if it works perfect. So if the text box 1 dot text equals to nothing and then the text box 2 dot text equals to nothing as well, then it should pop up this message, no username or password found. So I didn't type anything here and there. Now you can see that it tells me that no username or password found. Okay, all right. So if it tells us that no username or password found, we want the cursor to automatically blink in this box so that the person can just type the username again. So let's work on that. You can see that when I didn't type anything here and then I just click on login, it just pop up this message, but when I click OK, there is no cursor here. So let's work on that. So when it pops out this error, then we are going to say text box 1 dot focus. So it is going to focus on the text box 1. So let's say I bring the cursor here and then I didn't type anything. I just click on that. Okay, now you can see that the cursor is blinking here. When I type, it just hit me up there. All right, let's see something. Let's go ahead. Else if the person didn't type anything inside the text box 1, then it should give us a message telling us that it should give us a message telling us that no user name found, right? And that one too should be in a message box style. That is, the message box style shouldn't be help, but it should be critical as well. And then I would like to use error as that one too. And then for that one too, I will say the text box 1, which is the username, should focus. That is it. So let's say else if the text box 2, that is our password dot text, equals to nothing if the person didn't type anything inside our password provided space below, then it should message us telling the person that no password found, right? And then the MSG box style, the message box style, the message box style should be critical as well. And then the heading should be error as well. All right, so then the text box 2 the text should focus, text box 2 dot focus, right? So that I just focus on the text. So let's try this one and see how best it works. So I didn't type anything anywhere. Now you see that I get this error. Let's type something in the username. Now you see that it tells us that no password found. Let's type something in the password and then clear the username. It will tell us that no username found. So actually this is working great. Let's see something. If I type something which is not corresponding to the password and then the username we created, what will happen, right? What will happen? So what will happen is it should pop up a message by telling you that invalid username or password which is found. All right, so let's see how best we code that one too. Then we just ended the lesson for today. Okay, so let's say else if yeah, so we are going to say that if the person didn't type the correct username and password inside the text boxes, then it should pop up some error message telling the person that no sorry, invalid username or password found. And that one too, you can use the MSG box style, which is the critical, and then the heading also can be error. All right, so let's see something how burst these codes are working. These are the codes you need to get along so that you can get some things going. So the username is nothing. Now you can see that no username or password found. So I'm typing something in the username, so it will just tell me that no password found, and then I will type something in the password and then clear the username. It will tell me that no username found. And then let's see something, let's type in some wrong passwords and username. Now it will tell us that invalid or username password found. That means what you just typed in is not correct. So let's type the correct one, that is the admin, and then the password as well to be admin. So let's log it. Now you can see that all right, sorry, okay, I have my caps lock on, that is why. Admin, all right, ADMIN. Okay, so I have logged in successfully. Bear in mind, without the correct text which is being tagged to the text boxes, there is no way the person can bypass the login process and then just go straight into the software. There is no way the person can do that. So guys, I hope you are really enjoying this lesson, and this series is very great. On our next lesson, we are going to learn how to create an account, so that it will just help us to work in advance hand in hand in our next lesson. So shout outs to Mr. James Akon, shout outs to Isaac, that is my web programmer guy, and then shout outs to all the students in Northwood Technologies. And you can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. The Facebook, just search Edu Amakwa Isaac, and then you will hit me up. Twitter as well, you can search the same name, but when you go to YouTube, just type in inside the search box by typing Edu Amakwa Isaac, and then you see my picture there. Just subscribe me up, and then we will just hit up. Please, if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions, any questions, don't forget to just leave the questions below the group we just created, the WhatsApp group we just created so far a couple of weeks ago that we just created. So thanks guys, and until we meet again on our next lesson, have a nice day. Shout outs.